Hey y'all. Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome into another live stream with Dr. Kawana D. We had some technical hiccups this morning, so some workarounds just so I can come live. So y'all just excuse the little bit of a delay. When it comes to technology, you just never really know what's going to happen. So you got to be on your toes and just kind of do the workaround thing. So today we're doing the workaround thing because I want to make sure that you guys get the information that I'm here to share with you, which is how to win government contracts. So if you're here because you want to know what it takes and what you need to do to actually win government contracts, type me in the chat. Let me know who you are that are looking to learn how to win government contracts. So for those of you who are joining today, I am Dr. Kawana D. Irving. I am a government contracts expert who teach high-level entrepreneurs like yourself how to actually create generational wealth with government contracts, right? So it's more than about just landing a couple of contracts to make a little bit of money to pay a few bills, but it's really actually a tool that you can actually leverage to create generational wealth. So in case you did not know that, I wanted to share with you, government contracting is a great concept for those of you who are looking to not only make hundreds of thousands, but to actually turn those hundreds of thousands into millions of dollars to create a legacy for yourself and your family. So welcome into today's live stream. Good afternoon. I want to say shout out to Gaika, Imani. Hello, listening from Europe. Pranette, welcome in. Hey, Christine. Annie Marie, what's up? Nico, hello. Facebook user says, I need a contract. So if you're joining on Facebook, be sure to click on the StreamYard link that you see there because it's going to allow you to post your name instead of Facebook user. So based in London, but I would like to open a business in the US. Is that possible? Absolutely. It is possible. Hey, Derek, what's up? You are joining me live. What's up, bro? Let's see. Derek going to tell you that the class is very excited to hear about your book donate. Yeah. So it's got some reaction. Oh yeah. So super cool. I'm excited to share my book that I'm going to be donating to a special group of men, right? That are there where you are. So I'm going to be donating 30 books. So make sure that you reach out to me on Facebook and let me know what I need to do to make that happen for you guys. But I'm excited to share the information. And let's see, what's up? Hey, Soraya. Hello, Soraya. Hey, Erica from Atlanta. Oyodele. Oyodele. Hello, Oyodele. Welcome in. So today I'm going to be talking about how to win government contracts, right? So of course, I'm going to share with you through my experience, the three most important things that I've learned that if you understand how to do these things correctly, you can actually go on to land government contracts for yourself. So if you are already here and maybe you've been trying, let me know in the chat. If you've been trying, let me know, type trying. If you've already landed contracts and you're trying to figure out how to land more, type more in the chat because I kind of want to know who I'm talking to so I can tailor the information towards the people that are in the room. So you're looking for a cost-effective way to scale a government contracting business you currently have. Okay, cool. Hey, Bridgetta, hello. Family, she's donated her free ebook as well. Yeah, I have. Yes. Okay, cool. All right, so cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive right into it. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you probably have heard some of my success stories of how clients are landing in record time contracts that are $250,000 or $500,000 or $1 million or more, and even some that have landed contracts for $23,000 for an hour of their time, right? So there's a broad range of success stories. There's a broad range of types of contracts that you can land, right? But either way, whether it's $1 million or $500,000 or $250,000 or just 26,000 for the hour or 23,000 for the hour, would you like to know what have a contract? Don't know. What does that mean? Hey, Will. So you have so Willie, are you talking about you have a contract and you don't know how to perform on it, or what do you mean by have a contract, don't know? Okay. I'm pre-contract. So pre-contract, Amani, hello, Amani. So you say you're right before landing the contract. So which means that you have done a lot of things to position yourself, and now you're probably looking for opportunities. Hey, Kels from Detroit, you're a beginner. You're definitely in the right place. So we're gonna have something great for you at the end. If you stick to the end, we're gonna have something really amazing for you that's gonna help you streamline that process that you're in. So number one, the first step to actually winning a government contract, right? Y'all ready for it? Is to get the government's attention, right? Number one is just getting their attention. Well, what do you need to do to get their attention? Well, when it comes to doing business with the government, they are a premium buyer. They expect you to be a premium entrepreneur, which means that you have your paperwork in order. You have your ducks in a row. You have done the thing that you need to do to show up as a premium entrepreneur who's ready to accept the premium dollars that they're looking to write over into your business. Yeah. So what are some of those things? So if you've been following me, I have a whole checklist. I don't know exactly where to get it just yet, but we'll type it in the show notes after this live, where you can download a free copy of my my qualifications checklist that basically tells you all the things that you need to have documentation wise, right? Because if you don't have the documents, or if you're not willing to become the person who will get the proper documentation that's required to do business with the government, then you're giving up on yourself before you even get an opportunity to get started. So you want to get the government's attention. How do you get their attention? You want to make sure that number one, you have a business entity. You must have a official formulated legal business to do business with the government. It can't be under the table. It can't be partially showing up as a halftime business. You have to show up as a person who's serious about their business. And so if you have maybe an LLC, or it could be a sole proprietorship even, right? But do you have your ducks in order? Do you have if you're a sole proprietor, do you have your what do you call that? Fictitious business name filing? Do you have an EIN number? Do you have a business address, a business phone number, maybe whatever? So all of those legal documents. Have you done your taxes? Those are some of the things that are on my checklist. And again, in the show notes after this live, I'm going to drop a link where you can actually download a free copy of my qualifications checklist that's going to show you who you need to become as an entrepreneur, as a business, as an executive CEO, so that you can get the attention of the government. Now, once you have their attention, of course, it's going to open up doors for you to fit in certain categories, right? Certain categories of who they're going to spend their money with next, right? So they're always looking. There's always opportunities out there. So Ayodele, am I saying your name correctly? So Ayodele. Ayodele or Ayolade or Yodele. So let me know. Maybe you could put the phonetic spelling of it there, and it'll help me understand your name. But I'm gonna just call you Ayo for now. But you say that you're willing, which is awesome. You got to be willing. Hey, Trina. Hey there, I have a gift for you. Is just a DM, check your messages. Okay, definitely. Startups allowed to apply. Absolutely. So Annie Marie, absolutely. If you are a startup company, it does not matter if you started yesterday, if you started 30 days ago, if you've been in business for 6 months, you are ready to apply to get started as a government contractor. So what you need to do is have these things in order. Again, I'm going to leave my checklist in the show notes where you can download a copy of the checklist. So depending on what type of business you have, if you have an LLC or an entity that's separate from who you are as an individual sole proprietor, then you also need to have your articles of incorporation. You have to have your bylaws. You have to have operations agreements. So you have to have all of these legal documents. You have to have, regardless of what type of structure in business you have to have your profit and loss statement, some financial statements that shows whether or not, even if you're just getting started, your profit and loss is going to show, since you've started, how much have you already spent on your business? Because it costs money to start a business, right? So you don't just start a business off zero. You have to get your business license. You have to, get some things in order. You have to either, start a website or purchase an email, whatever it is that you've invested. that goes on your profit and loss. And then the expenses that go out, like if you haven't received any money in, then all you have is a negative profit and loss, and that's okay too. But these are documents that you 100% must have to even get on the radar of the government, right? So once you have those things and they're like, okay, I see who qualifies for this money. So just think of the opportunities as, okay, there are agencies and there are officers that are out there and they're looking to spend money with small business entrepreneurs. But there's a character, a prototype of the type of entrepreneur they want to spend the money with. So they're looking for these things, and you get their attention when you have them. And they're like, okay, so here's Parker. Right, here's Parker. They have their operations agreement. They have their, articles of incorporation. They have all of their documents in order. So now you have my attention, right? So the next step is, once you have my attention, you must get yourself into alignment. That's step 2. You must get into alignment with the opportunities that are out there. Well, what do you mean by that, Dr. K? I'm glad you asked, right? Getting in alignment is like understanding what you have to offer, the value that you bring to the table, and looking at the opportunities that they're saying, here's what we're going to spend money on, right? So when you have their attention, now you already qualify, right? But qualifying is not enough. You must get in alignment, which means that if they're saying, here's a service that we're looking for someone to fulfill, here are all the qualified businesses that's gotten our attention. Now, out of this list of businesses that has our attention, which one of you would like to fulfill on these opportunities? And when I say getting in alignment, I mean, every single day the government is looking for opportunity, like looking for someone to fulfill on these opportunities. I consider the person who fulfilled on the opportunities that exist as a problem solver. So let's just say, for example, there is probably maybe there's a storm somewhere, right? Let's just say there's a storm down south, and out of the storm came the flood, and then trees dropped, and some cars were washed away, and all of these things happened because of the storm. Well, if you're a janitorial company who's already gotten the attention of the government, and the opportunity for you to now get in alignment is like, okay, so here's where the problem meets the solution area. Solution area, right? Here's where the problem meets the person who can provide the solution, right? So you get to say, okay, well, I'm a janitorial cleaning company. I see that trees have fallen. So maybe I can either partner with or provide the service of picking up those trees and hauling them away to clean up the street. It's cleaning services, right? So maybe there's some power washing that needs to happen once the floods have gone away, and maybe the streets are like muddy. So now I got to clean up the streets. So that's power washing service. So now I'm getting myself in alignment with the need. So maybe after the flood, there's a bunch of cars, that are flipped upside down that has to be hauled away. Well, maybe as a janitorial cleaning company who can clean that, maybe I can partner with or get in alignment with another business, a towing company, where we can tow these things to the junkyard. So when I say you must align with the need that are out there, I mean, find a way to solve a problem. Okay. So what I teach my clients is there are problems that the government are announcing every single day. Like, watch the news, turn it on, right? They're talking about this is happening. People are crazy. Kids are killing themselves. There's all of these problems that they're announcing in the media all the time. And when you, as an entrepreneur, when you're able to think outside the box, register with FEMA, absolutely, as well. They're looking for people to assist with the disasters, absolutely. So, in fact, one of my clients, I'm glad you say that. Hey, Simcat, one of my clients, his name is Remy. He actually registered with FEMA, and he's a photographer. He registered with FEMA. So this is how he was able to think outside the box strategically. He registered with FEMA for those natural disaster contracts that come out of like those things, right? And he was able to not only take pictures of the disasters, because that's historical data, that's historical documentation, but also he partnered with a company that was able to go pick up trees, right? So this is how I know this stuff works, is because not only have I done it, my clients are doing it, and it just works, right? So these are not things that I'm just making up out of thin air. This is real life scenarios. These are real ways that you can actually leverage your expertise to open up opportunities. And so when you actually present your business as a problem solver, there's opportunities unlimited, right? The problem is sometimes like we're stuck in our own minds, right? So say for instance, here's a prime example of a person that's stuck in their own mind, right? You present yourself, maybe you've gotten alignment, maybe you've gotten the attention of the government because you've crossed all the T's and you dotted all the I's, and now your paperwork is in order, and so that becomes attractive to the government. So the next step is, if you get stuck here, you cannot move on to the next step beyond that, right? So here's where most people get stuck. Well, I've seen this happen, and I see it happen often. Well, a person could come and say, well, I'm a mindset coach. Well, what is a mindset coach? How do you align mindset coaching with the opportunities that the government is saying, here's the problem, and here's who we need to solve, or here's what the problems are that we need to be solved, right? So if you're like, I'm a mindset coach, and you're stuck on mindset coach, well, you have to dig a little deeper. Somebody type that in the chat. You have to dig a little deeper. Well, what do you help people do with their mind? Well, I help them understand the problems that they have so they can find solutions. So maybe that's mental health consulting, right? Or I help them understand how to think about money as a tool rather than money as something that they hold on to or cherish. Money is a tool, in case you didn't know. That's a whole nother training I'm gonna talk about later. It's a whole nother training. But how to think about money being a tool to actually make more money, right? As opposed to money being something that you're supposed to hold on to. You have to let it go. It's called the principle of reciprocity, right? You get what you give. You have to plant to harvest. You have to plant money to harvest the money, but that's a whole nother topic again. But what do you really do, right? Well, if you're helping people overcome their limited beliefs about what they believe about money, that's called financial consulting. So now, out of storms and out of natural disasters, what happens? Typically, people lose jobs. Sometimes people lose their homes, sometimes because of the loss of jobs or employment and stuff like that. Well, there's some financial consulting opportunities that are there to help people rebuild. So you have to get yourself in alignment where even if there's not a contract out there that says financial consulting, maybe it says rebuilding, right? Rebuilding Atlanta, right? Helping people revitalize, or the revitalization of Atlanta. You got to know, anytime that there's a revitalization of something that's happening, there's definitely going to be some financial piece tied to that revitalization, because it's going to cost to revitalize, right? So maybe you can be a financial consulting on the revitalization plan. Or what are we going to do to help people access capital? Maybe there's some credit repair services that can come into play. Maybe there's some investment strategies and some retirement strategies and some things that you can actually consult them on within that scope of the contract, right? So you got to think outside the box. Okay. So Derek says perspective is essential in marketing. Perspective is the essential marketing. It is. It's all in how you look at it. And so oftentimes I hear people say, hey, I've been searching through sam.gov. By the way, caveat, sam.gov is not the only source. It is one source of many that are out there. Sam.gov is a source for federal contracts. There are contracting opportunities on the state and local, city, municipal levels as well. If you are overlooking that information, you are overlooking opportunities that are right in your backyard, right? You can get a contract tomorrow when you expand your reach, right? And expand the platforms that you're searching on. So anyways, oftentimes I get people who say, I've been looking on, sam.gov, and I haven't saw any opportunities for mindset and coaching or whatever. Like, okay, dig a little deeper. Is all about your perspective on things. There's definitely always a way for you to anchor. Somebody say anchor in the chat. There's always a way for you to anchor yourself on an opportunity that's completely out of your scope. You just got to be willing to partner. You got to be willing to have conversations. You have to be willing to share the wealth, and to be willing to actually add value to the opportunities that you see. If you can think strategically about the value that you bring. Now, in I have a challenge. I have a 5-day challenge that I help people really like identify within the government contracting space multiple millions of dollars of opportunities. You have to know where the money is. You have to understand how the money is written out and how it's broken down and where to find it in order for yourself to align your values and the offer that you have with the opportunities that exist so that you can begin the journey of reaching and tapping into those millions of dollars. Now, some people don't understand that there are really typically, for me, I believe that there are opportunities that are out there that could be millions, multiple millions added on top of what you're already doing. Right. And that's at minimum. Like when you understand the scope of work and the scope of contracting dollars that are being spent with small businesses, it's completely mind blowing. And I'm completely mind blown that it's not enough people taking advantage of the opportunities that are here. It's not enough people that are willing to do the hard work so that they can work easier or work less hard in the very near future. The hard work is the upfront thing, right? There are not enough people who's willing to get themselves in total alignment with the opportunity. Because when you speak the language, when you learn to speak the language of the government, I'm telling you, opportunities will fly off the shelf. You'll be able to see, like, so for instance, again, I have a client. So again, Remy, I'm gonna talk about him again because he learned how to align exactly what he do, his passion in very multitudes of areas with the monies that's being spent in government dollars with small businesses. So not only is he landing contracts for picking up trees, he's landing contracts for photography stuff, he's landing contracts for real estate stuff, all because the opportunities are there. They're there. Right. So when you anchor yourself, I love the word anchor, in those opportunities, you're able to scratch the surface a little bit and do a little bit of, maybe it's 50,000 that you're going to do for the month. 50,000 for the month. How many of you are already securing, and it's okay if you are, $50,000 from one particular client right now on a monthly basis, because that adds up. 50 times 12 is, what is that? 600,000. That's 600,000 for the year, right? 50 times 12, 60,000. That's 60,000. That's $600,000 added to what you're currently already doing. If you just have a $50,000, secure a $50,000 contract, and you do that by aligning your service, your value, your product, or your offer, right? Because we're all offering something to the government. You have to have something to offer, right? You're aligning that with the need that they're putting out every single day. You're aligning that. So, if you didn't know, we're all offering something to the government. You're all here because you want to know how to package your offer, okay? How to offer what I do to the government. And you do it by reading the opportunities that are there and, of course, getting yourself in alignment. So step 3 is you have to get yourself in agreement with them. You have to get the government's agreement that what you are offering is a great offer, basically, is a great solution to solving the problem, right? What you have to offer is a great solution or the perfect solution to the problem that they're saying they're looking to resolve. Okay. So, well, how do you do that? How do you do that? Well, you do that by reading, right? So, and here's how you read for those of you who have been trying to figure this thing out on your own for so long. Here's how you read the problems that the government is looking to get solved so that you're able to clearly identify how your business is in total alignment and that you can be a solution to solving that problem. You want to know how you read that? Well, I'm going to share exactly. So you guys remember in church, there used, for those of you who did go to church or do maybe go to church, there used to be a call and response. Got my war clothes on, got my sword and my shield, got my sword and my shield in the army of the Lord, in the army of the Lord. So that's a response. So basically they are calling, somebody type calling in the chat. They're calling, they're saying, we're looking for cleaners. We're looking for somebody to do some wigs. This, like, honestly, like, I'm joking about it, but this is real stuff that I see, right? We're looking for somebody to fix our computer systems, right? And then you're just basically saying, I can fix your computer systems, right? So they're asking, they're calling. This is how you read. You tell them what they told you. I remember hearing that in Will Smith. I can't remember the movie that he was in, but he said, you just tell them what they told you or something, right? It's the same thing. It's no different for government contracting. When you're looking through those opportunities and it looks very confusing and the words are above your head and it's a whole bunch of just verbiage, just verbal diarrhea, basically a whole lot of verbal diarrhea that they threw on a piece of paper to confuse you. Basically, you take that verbal diarrhea and you give it back to them. You say, okay, you're saying you want X, Y, and Z. Well, we are X, Y, and Z. You match what you do to what they say. And if for any reason there's ever a time where you see something, that an opportunity that's out there, and they're like, okay, well, we're looking for someone who has 3 years of experience. Let's pause right there. We're looking for someone who has 3 years of experience doing this, right? And you're like, well, shoot, I just started my business a year ago. I don't have 3 years of experience. Well, your 3 years of experience can come from the volunteer work that you've done. It can come from the educational background that you have. It can come from previous employment that you did that particular skill. Your experience doesn't start when you start a business. Hello, somebody. I know I just freed somebody right there. Your experience did not start when you started your business, right? So your experience could be 3 years of combined education, volunteering, doing it for yourself, all of those things, previous employment. That is your 3 to 5 years of experience to help you meet that, right? So you got to be real creative to respond to the call, right? You got to be really creative. And if it's something where they're like, we have to have 3 years of experience plus, for instance, you'll probably never see something like this, plus be making 6 figures a month or whatever. You would probably never see nothing like that, but this is just an extreme example of how you can actually respond to the call, basically. Plus 3 years, plus making a 6 figures a month, right? This is the minimal requirement. Well, maybe you're not making 6 figures a month, but you have the 3 years experience. What you have to do is, I'm gonna type this in the chat. And I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Partner with others. You have to, right? Because a lot of times we just think about our own selves. We just think about winning for us. You have to think about, well, how do you win collectively so that you're winning and someone else is winning and the government is winning? It's a win-win-win situation when you're able to expand your partnerships, right? Because there may be a 6-figure business who doesn't have the 3 years experience that you can partner with. And together now you come with the 3 years experience, you've responded to that call, and you have the 6-figure monthly revenue background that's minimally required because you partnered with this other company. So now you've also responded to that particular call, which makes you what? Not only attractive, you're in full alignment. You already got the attention of the government. It's a no-brainer at that point. It's a no-brainer. So now you can have the agreement of the government that, yes, you are the person, you are the right person for this particular situation. And then you can get that green light to go ahead and get your notice to proceed on that contract. You will be awarded a contract simply because you've partnered with other people. Yes. So think about that. Okay. So I'm trying to align myself with and my creativity with Dr. Karwana D writing a prospective TV show idea. Now that's some alignment for you. Peace and blessings. So hopefully this is helpful for you all. Like, literally, if you can do those 3 things, get the government's attention by crossing the T's, dotting all the I's on your documentation. And I know that it's not easy. This documentation could be a headache, right? And sometimes you got to do it multiple times, and sometimes you got to do it, a lot of times over and over and over until you get it right? But it's the people who stay the race, right? So there's a scripture that talks about how the race is not given to the swift, those who can do it fast, but to the one that endures. That means the person who can stay the race and they can endure the hard times, the no's, the overdues of the documentation, the person who can get the attention regardless, right? You cannot win and quit at the same time. You have to decide if you're going to be a winner. Winners never quit. And if you're going to be a quitter, quitters never win, right? And so you have to decide who you're going to be. Now, if you can get past that part of getting the government's attention, then you get to get yourself in alignment. Now, in my challenge, if you go to govconchallenge.com, the next challenge is coming up in a couple weeks, but govconchallenge.com, I'll drop it here as well. But if you go to govconchallenge.com, like literally, I'll walk you through how to get yourself in full alignment with the government. Now, not only do I show you how to get into alignment with the government, I show you exactly how to stack and expand upon the services within the services within the services, so that you're able to identify a pool of multiple millions of dollars that you've been sitting on. Some of y'all been sitting on your millions of dollars. You're like, I want to grow my business to $1 million. Well, how do you do that? Well, first of all, you have to get in alignment. Secondly, you have to understand how to unlock the millions that you've been sitting on. And I can tell you, like, for example, and here's one of the examples that I share. I like to share this particular example because it's simple, and simplicity, is the best way to educate people, right? In simple terms. So let's just say you have a child care provider, or you have a child care center, and in your child care center, you provide daycare services, right? Somebody say daycare services. So you get paid to watch kids, right? You get paid to watch kids. So maybe you get paid to watch kids, and per kid, you're getting paid $100 a day, right? So in order to make $1,000 a day, you need how many kids? You need how many kids to make $1,000 a day at $100 a head, right? You need what? 10 kids, right? So because 10 times 100 is 1,000. Okay, that's $1,000 a day. Now, when it comes to government contracting, not only when you're unlocking the value and getting off the millions, getting the millions from underneath your butt that you've been sitting on, you're basically identifying with the government daycare services. You get paid. That's one income stream that could be paying you $1,000 a day, right? Then you have after school care. That's another stream. You can be getting paid another $1,000 a day. So now you've already doubled the value, doubled your revenues, right? Without working harder. Same work, double the value, because you pulled it out from underneath your butt that you've been sitting on, your value that you're really able to itemize and build the government for, right? Now, not only are you getting paid for those two, you're also helping the kids with their homework when they come to your after school program. So that's tutorial services. That's a whole nother stream of income that you can be getting paid another $1,000 a month, right? So that's $3,000. So now you've already tripled doing exactly what you're doing. And now you're just unlocking those services. And now you're just itemizing the things and itemizing your value and getting paid for what you're worth, what you're really worth, right? So then that's 4. So that's 3. So now the 4th one is, you can't forget, you feed the kids lunch and snack, right? Lunch and snack. Hopefully you're feeding these kids, right? So this nutrition services that you get paid for. That's a whole nother service that when you're doing business with the government, they're like, I want to pay you for everything that you do, not just the service. I want to pay you for that's another $1,000 that you can unlock doing the exact same thing that you're doing. So now you're $4,000. So now can you see how you can 4x, 10x, 5x your revenues just by doing business with the right player? Right. And I ain't stopped there. We ain't stopping. So sometimes there's kids that are in multiple households. So you have kids that are in, their parents are separated, and 1 week they're with mom, 1 week they're with dad, and every time you come together, maybe somebody picked them up on the wrong week, and there's always conflict. So now you're a conflict manager. Like you're a conflict manager. Now you're mediating services between 2 households, right? That's a whole nother service that you're now able to itemize on that invoice. So now you have $5,000 a month that you're able to invoice to the government. Yeah, you just 5x your business. You're already doing the work. Somebody say, I'm already doing the work, right? And then what else? Transporting. I love it. Rolanda, you're getting it. You got it. Now you're transporting the kids from the school. Thank you for that. To the after school program. Now you're getting paid for the transportation services. Now you've already 6x your income revenue simply because you did something that most people won't do, and that's doing business with the government. Same work, You're not working any harder. You're not adding work to your workload. All you're doing is itemizing your skill set and the things that you're delivering to the government, and automatically you just 6x'd your revenues, right? That is the difference. That is the game changer part of doing business with the government. So even with myself, now when I first started landing lucrative contracts, we're talking about multiple six figures in a single month with the government, doing business for the government. I didn't do anything different than I was doing chasing customers with individual customers that were paying me like $600, maybe $1,000 to do one thing. When I did the same one thing, no additional hours, no additional work with the government, I not only got paid for the photography work, but the editing work, but also for the digital graphic design that goes on top of the phone. You get paid multiple times within your business. Who wants to know how to do that? Who wants to learn how to do these things, right? You got to know. You have to be willing to get out of your own way. You have to be willing to think outside the box. It's all about strategy, y'all. Strategy. It's all about strategy. Tutoring the kids. I said that. I said thank you. That's it. I think I said tutoring the kids, but also like, look, if you can get real creative, you remember, I can't remember who the artist was, but they had a song that said, do you want fries with your shake? Do fries with that shake? This is way back in the day, like way in the 80s, sometime in the 80s, late 80s. So it's like talking about upscaling and upsizing what you're delivering to the government. So basically it's like, if they ask you, do you want to do X, Y, and Z? Like, yeah, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, but here's all the things that I have to do to deliver the X, Y, and Z. You're getting itemized. You get to itemize all of those things. And that's how you actually quickly scale your business with the government. If you are not right now landing contracts because you don't know how, it is costing you money. It is costing you more money not to know how than it will literally cost you to learn the how. It costs you more money to not know how, right? Hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars than it literally costs you to learn the how. But most people get stuck because they don't want to pay to learn the how. And you're stuck with the greater expense of not knowing, right? So learning is the best thing that you should want to do, right? Because it can literally change your life. One simple government contract could literally be worth 10 years worth of revenues for you, okay? So hopefully this helps you. So get their attention, right? Go get the government's attention. Do the work, do the necessary steps that it takes for that you can qualify to do the business with the government. Get yourself in alignment with the opportunities that are out there. There are opportunities that are out there right now that people are sleeping on. And opportunities like what? And I'm randomly picking up a bobby pin. This is a bobby pin, y'all. They have government contracts out there for things like paper clips and bobby pins that are six figures, but yet we are stuck looking for things that says trucking and notary services when there are opportunities as well in addition to what you do that you could just pick up on the side. Like, so say for instance, when we go out to eat, like you hungry, right? You hungry. So you want to go get some food. Well, soda and juice and water, that has nothing to do with feeding your hunger, right? But you want to do what? You want to go get something to drink on top of that. So this is like bobby pins and paper clips and sticky notes and those six-figure contracts that are out there too. That's like going to complete your, like to quench your thirst. Those are things in between. That's the in between. That's the in between stuff. So Lavinia said, you just got your DBE certifications following me. Yes, following me has been a blessing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm gonna drop that on the screen right here. I appreciate you. But I'm just saying, y'all, look, this is the end of the quarter. And this fool of a president that we have that is playing around in other people's business look like he's trying to get us involved in somebody's war. Okay. Fret not. Because what's going to happen is they're going to write some money, and he's already done it. He's already put 100 million. I said, we got people that are here in the United States that are homeless, that are hungry, that are they're trafficking kids and all these problems over here. And you're writing $100 million for somebody else's humanitarian war. Like, That's somebody else's business. But what's going to happen is, even when they do write these bills and write these checks for all this money, there's going to be opportunities for small businesses like yourself to participate in that spend. So even if there's a recession, even if there's a war that break out, those are problems that, guess who gets to come solve them? Yes, who gets to come solve them? When you get yourself in alignment, you get to become a problem solver. Because what comes out of war are people who are homeless, more people who are homeless, more people who are hungry, more people who are messed up in their minds. People who will return from the military messed up in their mind are going to need mental health services. They're going to need help, right? And so you have to look at all these things that are happening not as a reason to go hide, or a reason to not move forward with your business, whatever that may look like for you. A reason to hold on to the harvest and prevent yourself from planting the harvest, planting the seed to get the harvest. The seed is the harvest. The seed becomes the harvest when you plant it, right? Some of y'all, that went over your head, but many of you, you're going to understand and you're going to get that, right? You have to plant the seed. You have to plant the seed to learn this information so that you're able to get on the other side to participate in the harvest. Because when you're not knowing, this is what you're leaving on the table by simply not knowing. Now, in my upcoming challenge, I'm going to share with you. I used to have this goal. I used to have a goal, right? One of my goals way back in the day, one of my goals and one of my dreams was to, you ever hear on the news where every so often, every few years or so, there's an armored truck that will open up on a freeway, either flip over or something. The doors just fly open and then money just start flying all over the place. So one of my goals was to be in the presence of an armored truck when that happened, right? So whenever I'll see an armored truck get on the freeway, I'm like, I'm gonna ride behind this armored truck because maybe today's gonna be my lucky day. Well, in my challenge, I actually share with you and reveal to you that I found an even better armored truck, and it's open every day, and it's pouring out hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars. And I show you exactly where those armored trucks are, how to tap into that, and how to actually be in the way, how to get behind and follow the money. I show you that stuff in my upcoming challenge. So go to govconchallenge.com, y'all. This is probably going to be the last one that I do for the year, simply because when you get yourself in position, this is October, November, December. We have 2 months. If you get yourself in position now, the people who join the challenge now, I'm going to be working alongside with them for the remainder of the year, if they decide that they want to work with me, to actually help them start off their new year. This happens every single year with contracts in hand. And it happened last year. A client that started in like November-ish, she started into our premium program in like November-ish. By January, she had secured her first $250,000 contract, because I believe the last quarter is the time where you actually plan and do the work, so that the first quarter, you're not planning and doing the work, but you're reaping the harvest of the work that you've already done in the last quarter of the previous year, y'all. Switching over to government contracting is your great crushing so that you can become wine. Yes, it is. When does the next challenge start? So it's actually coming up in a couple weeks. So if you get registered right now, you'll be in the next one that's coming up in about a week and a half. So if you go to govconchallenge.com, the date is on there. I don't know, because I have a team that does those things. I just show up and educate and transform and inspire people on how this stuff works. I just educate you on how it works. But if you go to govconchallenge.com, you'll be able to do that. So now I will say this. Now, you want to join VIP. It's $297 to join by VIP. Now, there's also a ticket that's general seating. It's $97 for general seating, right? But I always recommend people to join as VIP, not because I want $297. Come on, y'all. I made $1 million in a month, and I'm gonna show y'all how to do that too with government contracts. I'm gonna break it down. So 297 doesn't move me, right? That's stuff that I donate. I'm getting ready to donate some books over to Derek, right? That's donation money, right? That ain't nothing. So, but I want you to join VIP, because guess what? My consulting pricing, or my consulting fee, is $5,000 for the hour. So if you were to consult with me, $5,000 for the hour, over a 5-day period. This is a 5-day challenge. If you were to consult with me an hour for 5 days, that's 5 hours. That's equivalent to 200. I mean, to what is that? 5 times 5, $25,000. That's $25,000. Equivalent value of $25,000. You get to consult with me as VIP or platinum member who can ask questions and join me on Zoom where we're face to face. You get to ask questions when you are a VIP member, and have my consulting for less than $5,000 an hour, right? You get to do that for a 1 week fee of $297. That's it. You join me. And for those who join as platinum, which is an upgrade of $300 from there, you actually get guaranteed your questions. All of your questions are going to be answered, and you get to guarantee that your questions are going to be prioritized all over those who are VIP. So for those who are VIP, you get to join us in the back room and hear the questions. And if there's room, if there's time enough, you actually get to ask those questions. But usually there's some time for VIPs to ask questions too. But platinum, guaranteed, get your question answered. So that's what I'm saying. So you want to join me. So take advantage of the advantage, y'all. During the challenge, I pour, like, if you get value, if you guys get value from just the stuff that I'm doing on YouTube, like the free stuff, I share with you some free information, y'all. Value comes in the room when you actually make a transformation. Transformation comes with transaction. If you're not willing to invest a little bit in yourself to reap a great harvest, and I'm telling you, the information that I share in the challenge, people have already paid me thousands of dollars to just to get that information, and you're going to get it for a fraction of the cost. And literally, what you're going to walk away with is more than what you pay for. All right. I already know this because people have paid thousands of dollars just for that information. But also I know this because we give you more than what you came for. We show you exactly not only where the armored trucks are, how to tap into them, how to position yourself. We show you how to align yourself with the government. We show you how to get their attention. We show you exactly what you need to do to get the government's agreement that, yes, the offer that you made is the very best offer for this solution. So anyways, govconchallenge.com. So hopefully today you get it and you understand that those are the 3 things that you need to do to win more contracts. When you get the government's attention and then get in alignment with those opportunities, and then you get their agreement that the offer that you're making is the best solution, you will win more government contracts, right? You will win, period. You will win more. Now, would you win 100%? Of 100% of your efforts? Absolutely. Nothing is 100%. Nothing is even, it's not even 100% that we're going to wake up the next day. So we have to be realistic with these things, right? There's a 50-50 chance. There's 50% you will get yes. There's a 50% chance you'll get a no, right? And even when you get a no, it's a win. And I'll break down why it's a win and how to make it a win for you in the challenge as well. All right. So I've taken your challenge already. It was great. Couldn't afford the next program at the end. So we'll talk. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Because of course that's a real thing. Of course, there's a next level after the challenge for those of you. But even if you decide you don't want to go to the next level, the information that you get from the challenge is still so much valuable. We've had people who gotten information from the challenge and went off. That's all they needed, right? Depending on where you are, that's all they needed to start landing contracts. Like Tim, who did that, right? There are people who do that. But there are also people who are like, I want you to help me with the next steps of this process so that I'm able to get contracts faster. And so it costs you more not to afford it. You can afford anything that you want, right? It costs you more not to afford it than it does for you to afford it, right? So it's just about leverage, y'all. You have to learn how to leverage other people's money. You have to learn how to leverage opportunities to make things happen, because what's on the other side of that, right? So it's just like it's a limit. It really is a limited belief. If I can help you out a little bit, it really is a limited to belief to say or to believe that you can't afford something, because really it's always the other round. You can't afford not to. When you think about it in terms of what you can't afford not to do, then you will make it happen for yourself, especially when you know on the other side of making it happen for yourself is the abundant side. This is where people are able to land $250,000 contracts. Like one of my clients, she went from landing her first contract that was $23,000 for 1 hour. $23,000 for 1 hour to landing a 6-figure contract. I think it was like $175,000 for like a few hours teaching diversity and inclusion, to simultaneously landing another six-figure contract on top of that, and another six-figure contract on top of that simultaneously. So now you're generating multiple, hundreds of thousands and even multiple millions of dollars simply because she figured out how to make it happen for herself. And so that's what I would like for all of you to do, for you to be able to do that, to change your life. Because I know it's already changed my life. Again, not many people can say they've made $1 million in a month doing this stuff, like in the government contracting space, right? And I show you exactly how. And one of the things that we're going to be doing in the next challenge is I'm going to do the math and show you, here's what you need to do to make $1 million in a month. And you will learn that it's easier to make $1 million in a month than it is to make $1 million in a year. So even if your goal is to make $1 million in a year, it's simplified. It's simplified. But there are no limits. So take the limits off, y'all. And I see you at the top, because there's room. There's room at the top. So at the end of the day, we designed the challenge to help more people become pre-qualified for government contracts and to see what's out there for you, but also for you to help me to help increase the top 3%, y'all. Out of the 99.9% of small businesses that are employing and creating jobs in the country, only 3% of small businesses today are making $1 million. And that number is very staggering to me, especially when I know and I see how much potential you can have when you land the government as a client. So we want to make sure that we're in position to help people increase that number. If we can double that number from 3% to 6% just by showing and educating people on how to do business with the government, then we've done our job. And so by you getting yourself in position to land lucrative government contracts for your business, not only are you able to then become a problem solver, right? Solve problems and it help us expand our impact through your service. Because if you're solving problems, you're helping us expand our impact, right? But also, in addition to that, you're helping to increase that 3% to double it to 6%. We want to be able to do that in 2024. So anyways, you guys, I'll see you on the challenge. For those of you who are looking to change your life, join us in the challenge, govconchallenge.com. I promise you will never view business the same. You will never, ever view business the same after this challenge and after you are educated on how this stuff really works and how it can work for you. All right. So that's my tips for today. Go out and get the government's attention, get yourself in alignment, and get their agreement, and you will win more government contracts. Until next time, I'm Dr. Kawana D, and I will see you later. Have a good one.